Hello everyone, I'm here today to do a review of my plans of 2025 if I accomplish them, and then talk a little bit about my plans for 2026. Spoiler alert, there are not many plans, but I will talk to you about it after we review this year. So the first goal I had for 2025 was to read all the winners for the Wainwright Prize for Conservation, I think. There are two. One of them tends to be more UK specific than the other. I read the one that is not UK specific so much, and I really enjoyed it. There are only 5 winners because it hasn't been, I think it was 5, because it hasn't been running for that long, but it was really good. I think I enjoyed all of the books. I think like 2 or 3 of them are in my best books of the year, so I'm very happy that I did this, and I think I'll continue doing this next year. I don't think I want to read the whole shortlist or long list, because reading like 10 books non-fiction about nature sounds too much, but I think I like the idea of reading one that is chosen as the best, and in my experience they were all very good. The second plan or goal that I had for the year was to read all the long-listed books for the Warwick Prize for Women in Translation. This prize has been running since 2017, and I started that project last year, so I had about 20 to 30 books left, and I did finish them. I finished a couple of months ago. I have some videos for them, and yeah, I think that was a very interesting experience, not necessarily because I enjoyed all of the books, but because I think it gave me a little bit more of a perspective of how a book prize looks like in time. And sadly for me, I think that this particular prize is going more and more away from what I like. I think my best years were like in the 2020 to 2023. I enjoyed the most books, and sadly I think, especially with the winners lately, it's going a little bit down. I don't think I'm as interested in this prize as I was, but yeah, I'm glad that I did the experiment and recorded all the ratings and stats, and to understand a little bit more how my prize reading works. The next goal that I had was to finish my ancient TBR. This is something that I do every year for a few years now. Basically, that means that I read all the books that were in my library before 2025. So I finished those, I think, in July, and I'm very happy about that. I don't like to have books for too long. My ideal TBR, like whole own TBR that I haven't read, is probably about 10 to 15 books, so I'm glad that these books are renewing on a regular basis. The next goal that I had or planned was to read the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction shortlist. This is the second year of the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction prize, and I'm really enjoying it. I think they have some really good books, and unlike the Wainwright Prize, this is a lot more varied, and so I think I enjoy it more. I also read whatever tickled my fancy in the fiction and non-fiction category. I chose a few other books that I wanted to read, and some of those again have come to my favorite books. And then the next two goals that I had were a bit more YouTube related. The first one was to include a TBR after my wrap-ups, just to test things out, and I did that. I'm not sure I like it, and I'm not sure I'm gonna keep it, but at least I tried. And then the last one that I had was to learn more about my camera, my microphone, my equipment in general. I haven't done that so much. I just didn't have the time or the energy to do that, but that's something that I still want to do for next year. And talking about next year, I do have a few goals, not as many, not many at all actually, but I just wanted to talk to you about what my plans for 2026 are. The first one is to read the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction shortlist, as I did the past 2 years. I have been really enjoying that. I think it's a great way to get fiction, non-fiction into my reading, and yeah, I really enjoy most of the books that I have read, and I have found favorites, so I definitely wanted to do that more. Uh, and then for the other prices that I loosely follow, um, I want to check out the International Booker, the Booker, the one, the Wainwright's Prize, and the Women's Prize for Fiction as well, and just check those books and see which ones appeal to me. I don't necessarily want to read a specific amount of them, but I do definitely loosely follow them. I do think that unless something weird happens, I would want to read the winner of the International Booker and the Wainwright Prize. I don't know about the other prizes. They don't appeal to me as much. The things that I have seen winning, for example, the Booker this year, Flesh won, and I have absolutely no interest in reading that, so I'm not going to. But I have read Endling, I have read Universality, which are two books that I was interested in. So not necessarily the winner, but just some of the things that they pick is a good way to find new books. And then I also want to finish my Herkit prompts. I am 67% of the way through on that challenge, which is really good. I'm really impressed at how well it's been going. And I have full plans to finish this probably earlier than the end of the challenge in July. So I think that's gonna be done for sure. And then the last challenge that I do every year is to read my Ancient TBR. Currently my Ancient TBR has 17 books, but we still have a couple of weeks on the month of December, so I think according to my plans this will be down to 15 by the end of the year. So I'm just going to talk about those 15 books right now, go through them a little bit fast. The first one I have is Odlin by Jenny Fagan. This was in the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction, longlisted. It's a memoir of growing up in the care system in the UK. And Jenny Fagan is a novelist, a quite well-known and loved novelist, so I'm looking forward to this. I just somehow have not had the time to read this since I got it I think I got it in August. It was when the paperback came out, and I really want to read it. The next one in my list is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is a chunker. I don't love the font of this particular edition, but yeah, I have been getting into fantasy a bit more this year. Like, I was reading fantasy when I was younger, and then I just was not reading as much, and now I'm trying to check the series that everyone is talking about. I have not had the best luck, so I don't know. I really enjoy James Allington, The Will of the Many, but I didn't love Robin Hood, sadly. And I have also picked up two books from Brandon Sanderson this year. The Tres of the Emerald Sea, I really liked, but Warbreaker I DNF'd. So we will see how I go with this one. I thought I found it secondhand, and I thought I might as well try. A couple of books that I got specifically to fill Herkit prompts. One of them is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. I did read another book by Ursula K. Le Guin before, and I found it very confusing. I hope this is not confusing, but we will see. It's supposed to be very gender fluid, so that's part of why I picked it up for a specific prompt. And the other one for Herkit that I got was Bestiary by Kim Chan, and this is for the animal prompt. And as far as I know, this is a mother-daughter relationship sort of book, and I'm looking forward to that. I think that's gonna be very soon. Then for my birthday, a friend of mine got me The Tartar Step by Dino Buzzati. I know very little about this. He tends to like very manly books, so we will see how I go with this. It's written in 1938, so I guess it's about the foreshadowing of the war without the author actually knowing that the war was going to happen. Then one I don't have, but I still, it's in my Storycraft TBR, is The Wax Child by Olga Raven. I don't know that much about this apart from its historical fiction, and I think it's a bit witchy, and I loved The Employees by Olga Raven, and I also read My Work and I liked it, so I want to try more from this author, so that one is in my wish list. I haven't gotten it yet because I always like to put things in my Storycraft TBR for a couple of months before I buy them, just to make sure that I want them. And I mean, I have enough to read, so I'll get to that whenever I get to that. And then the next bunch of books, I mean probably the rest of them pretty much, are books that a friend of mine, he's moving to the UK, to Scotland. I mean, he already moved like a week ago, and he had a bunch of books that he didn't want to take with him, so he told me, do you want them? And I said yes. They look beautiful. They are very indie like books because he works at the with indie publishers a lot, and he had some books from them, and so yeah, I'm very excited about all of this. The first one I have is Emily Forever by Maria Navarro Scaranger, and this is about a pregnant teenager sorting things out kind of story. Then I have Foul Eulogies by Lucy Rico, translated from the French by Daria Chercheva. And here it says, upon her mother's death, Paul Rojas, a vegetarian city dweller, returns to the chicken farm where she grew up. Pressured to fill her mother's last request, Paul rediscovers pleasure and meaning in running the old family business. Yeah, so it's like a city person going back to the farms and trying to make peace with that. Then I have Breakwater by Marieke Schermer, translated by the Dutch by Liz Waters, and this is about a woman that's supposed to have like all of the things that people are supposed to want, but she's still dealing with trauma in her past life, and so she's not able to enjoy it as much, so it's about trauma. Then I have 3 Plastic Rooms by Petra Kulova, and this, it's signed by the author as well. And this is supposed to be like a prostitute thinking about the materialism of life, if I understand correctly, and the language is supposed to be a bit crass, but very insightful. Then we have We Are Light by Gerda Bless, translated from the Dutch by Michelle Hutchinson. And this is kind of a dystopian about a self-sustaining community, and when one of the women living there dies, the rest of them have a very extreme reaction to it, something like that. Then I have On the Isle of Antioch by Amin Malouf, translated from the French by Natasha Lehrer. And then this is about I think an author that goes to reclude himself in an island somewhere, and kind of the musings and also the like current politics and why it makes sense to want to not be in society anymore. And then the last one that he gave me was Tale of the Dreamer's Son by Preta Samarasan. This, as I understand, is about a community in Malaysia that claims themselves to be very tolerant and welcoming, and they are until this Muslim woman comes to live in the community, and then tolerances come out. So yeah, those are the books that he gave me when he left, which I'm very thankful for. They all sound amazing, and yes, I'm looking forward to them. And then I have one self-help kind of book that my faculty gave me as a Christmas present, because so my university is currently going through some social safety issues, and they are trying to really hone down on making the university environment a much more socially safe environment. And they had some certain activities and think tanks and things like that, and I was part of that process. And so they gave me as a reward the Fearless Organization by MSc Edmondson, creating psychological safety in the workplace for learning, innovation and growth. I don't know how I'm gonna like this, but I'm willing to give it a try. And then the last book in my Storygraph TBR is another one that I don't own, but I'm interested in, and it's How to Kill a Witch, a guide for the patriarchy by Vendiozzi and Claire Mitchell. This is won the, I think, non-fiction Goodreads award thing. That's how I became aware of it. Not that I follow that very often, but a lot of creators that I follow are doing Goodreads Choice Awards videos and vlogs, and so in one of them I saw this and it sounds really good. So I put it in my Storygraph TBR, and if it's there in a couple of months I will buy it and read it. So yeah, those are all the books in my TBR, as I think they are 15, which is, as I said before, 10 to 15 books is my comfort zone. However, it still does feel a little bit like it's a bit too much, because I would like to have the amount of books that I can read in a month or two in my TBR. Right now, I could, if I just read these books, I could probably finish them in a couple of months. But because I'm also doing haircut prompts, and many of these are not for haircut prompts, and I'm also doing book clubs and things, that obviously it will be very lucky that I get one of these for those book clubs. It's not very likely. Then that means that I'm a little bit, I feel a little bit behind, so maybe 10 is a better number than 15. But still, I mean, these are my physical TBR books plus the 2 that are in my wish list, so it's not too bad, I think. And the majority of them I got for free. I think partly why I'm also feeling a bit overwhelmed is because half of these books I got unexpectedly in one go from my friend. So that's like double my TBR. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading some of these books in the near future. I will keep you posted, of course, on the things I read and the things I enjoy. And yeah, those are all my plans for 2026. I don't think I'm going to try to do anything special with my videos anymore at this point of my life, because life is crazy, and I think and hope that in the next couple of months things will settle a lot better. But life is busy at the moment, so we will see how I go. Let me know if you have any thoughts about the books I've talked about, especially my ancient TBR, if there's any that you think I should start with. Also, if you have any prize that you think I will enjoy, let me know. And yeah, I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye!